Before I get into the main focus of this video, I want to share something with you all. Tuesday is the day that I usually get coupons in the mail, especially for fast food places. And I want you to check out this one here. You see what I see here? Hardee's, which is known as Carl's Jr. in some states, I believe. It has a grilled ham and cheese thick burger. I tell you, this company is trying to kill people. Okay, so the main focus of this video is going to be on my dog, Radcliffe. He's not in here right now, and I usually don't have him in this room. He just passes through on his way to the kitchen, which leads to outside. You know, I'll take him out back, but I don't keep him in here for obvious reasons. I have collectibles and things around here, and Radcliffe is kind of wild. I mean, he's a puppy. He likes to jump up a lot. He plays around a lot, so it's just really not safe for him to be in here, and it's definitely not safe for my collection for him to be in here. So, you know, some people wonder why you don't see him as often. That's a big part of the reason why. So I want to get into the story about how I ended up with Radcliffe, but before I do that, I'm going to back up. I'm going kind of way back in time. I think if I'm going to give you the story of Radcliffe, you need to know about my first family dog, what I consider to be our first real family dog. And this goes back to when we were staying in California. As I've said before, my father was in the military, and we were stationed at Fort Ord in California, which is near the Bay Area. And the first dog that we had when we were in California was a female dog. I don't know what the breed was. I remember that she had very white fur, and she was a large breed, and her name was Sheba. And Sheba was a pain. I'll just be real about that. Because with her being a female, she's constantly in heat, and a lot of other dogs, like stray dogs, would come around and she would get loose a lot of times, or, you know, just dogs would be coming around to her. It was just kind of a pain. And she got loose a lot, especially being a large breed. It was easy for her to pop leashes. So she popped a leash one night, and my father, at this point, he had her on a chain. And I don't put any blame on him at all for this. He just didn't know what to do to try to, you know, keep her where she needed to be, because we didn't have her in the house with her being such a large breed. And I think that's just a difference in general, you know, from family to family. I'm not going to say it's so much a racial thing, but I think from family to family, you know, you have some people that are cool with their dogs being inside, and then some people that's not cool with them. So we usually had Sheba outside, but she was in a somewhat enclosed area. But anyway, her leash popped, and he just put I guess he wasn't really thinking. He put the chain around her neck, and she got caught up. She got tangled up. And I know there were a lot of times when I'd have to untangle her, because she would just go around and around the post and tangle up, you know, her leash or whatever. So, or her tie-out cord. So he wasn't gone very long, but just in that short time, the chain cut into her neck. And, you know, it was definitely a tough sight to see as a kid. I mean, there was blood on her fur and everything. So my parents took her away. I guess they took her to a vet. It's one of those stories, though, where parents say, you know, we took her somewhere where she could be with another family and she'll be happy. And, you know, that's just not the truth. I'm pretty sure she was put down because there's probably nothing that could be done with that much loss of blood. So, yeah, so Sheba, we lost Sheba. We didn't have her very long. And then we got another dog. We had some neighbors that we were cool with, and they had this little scruffy dog. In fact, I think they were moving. I think that's what happened. They may have been moving, or it may have been that they had some puppies or something. I don't know. But we ended up with a dog that was already had a name. It was named Biff. And Biff really is who I consider to be our main family dog, because we had Biff the majority of his life. So Biff was some sort of terrier. I mean, basically a mutt. And when I say mutt, I'm not using that in a derogatory way. I just mean that we don't know what breed he was. We don't know what mixture, anything. So I'm not using mutt in a negative way. But Biff, and we really didn't have too many pictures of him. I mean, I was thinking about trying to find a family photo, but honestly, the only picture I can remember is Biff laying down on the sofa next to my sister, because every once in a while we would have him in the house, even though my mom wasn't crazy about that. But Biff basically looked like a mop with eyes. I mean, if you look at the picture, that's all you would see is like a mop with like red eyes, because the camera, the light caught his eyes. So not a flattering picture of Biff, and I don't even think I really would share that particular picture. But so yeah, we had Biff the majority of his life. He actually moved from California to South Carolina with us, which he did not like. Getting him into his carry-on. He is a small dog. I mean, he's probably like maybe around that tall or so. But both me and my sister had to really struggle to get him into his carry-on because he hated that thing. But Biff was, yeah, he was my dog. I took him for walks sometimes. There are just some different little quick stories I could tell you about him. In fact, I'm going to do that just real quick here because I get real nostalgic when I think about Biff. I know there was one time when Biff disappeared on us, and we had him in the house. So we couldn't find him, and we were wondering, well, did he get outside? What was going on? So we were yelling around the house. We combed the neighborhood. I know I went and walked all the way around the neighborhood, calling out his name, and we just could not find him. And then finally, I was searching in the house again, and I just happened to look up under my parents' bed, and what had happened is up under the bed, part of the lining had like drooped down. So Biff was in there asleep, just fast asleep, didn't hear us calling his name at all. So I thought that was cute, and I guess he was just nice and cozy, so he didn't even hear us. Another story that comes to mind, I know one time he got loose, and so I had to go find him. And I mean, this time he really was loose in the neighborhood, so I had to go find him. And it was one of the scariest moments for me because I saw him. He was on the other side of the street, and he was about to get ready to run over to me, and then there was a car coming, and it was speeding too, and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to see my dog get killed right in front of me. But thank God, Biff actually saw it, and he stopped himself, and so he ended up being safe, and I carried him on back to the house. So the last story here I gotta tell about Biff because this really made Biff, like, he always stands out of my memory for this because I thought it was such a sweet thing that happened. So we were getting ready to leave from California, and the military, they put us into temporary housing, which it was away from our other neighborhood. And my sister had a friend, one of her friends, that lived nearby where we were. So she had actually came over one time. Her friend came over. They walked from her house over to where we were staying at, and I kind of got to say goodbye, but not really. Honestly, I didn't get to say goodbye to a lot of my friends in California because I got really ill the last couple of days. I had a flu or something. I remember my last day of school, like I was like laid out on the floor, like laid out on the ground basically outside of the classroom because I was just out of it. So I really didn't get to say a proper goodbye to my friends, which that sucks. But anyway, so I didn't really get to say goodbye to my sister's friend, not a proper goodbye at that point because I was still kind of under the weather, and I had a big crush on my sister's friend. This was probably my first real crush, and I was outside with Biff one day, and it wasn't like Biff to really run off. I could actually have him off the leash sometimes, and he would stay close by. So it wasn't typical for him to run off. So he just started walking all of a sudden, and he wasn't running away from me. I mean, he was staying within my sight, but I kept on saying, Biff, like, come here, and he ignored me. So finally, he stops in this yard, and I go to pick him up, and I hear a voice say, hey, and I look up, and it's my sister's friend looking out the window. So basically, Biff had followed her trail back to her house, and because of Biff, I got to say a proper goodbye to my first crush. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I thank Biff for that. And I was in the military myself right out of high school, and this is something that kind of bugs me still to this day. And I know she didn't mean any harm by it, but right before I got out the military, I was on the phone with my mom. This is probably just a couple months before I was out. And she just casually mentioned that, oh yeah, Biff died. And I'm like, what? Like, it felt way too casual. And like I said, I know she didn't mean harm by that. But I wish she would have put it in a different way, like maybe ease me into it or something. But I don't think she realized how much I really cared for Biff. I mean, I wish I played around with Biff a lot more than I did, but I did feed him. I was the one that was really responsible for feeding him, giving him water, and taking him for walks here and there. I really do wish I had played around with him a lot more, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to do better with Radcliffe. But anyway, yeah, when I got out of the military, my life was like a bad country song. I mean, my family was split up because my parents were working towards their divorce. My younger sister was away. I won't even get into all that. My older sister had her own place. So when I left from the military, all my family was up under one roof. My dog was there. I get back from the military, my dog is dead. My family is all completely split up. It was really weird. So getting back to Biff though, it took a long time for me to get over Biff. And after Biff passed away, my family actually did get another dog. I just never connected with it. I felt like I don't know how some people do that. You know, your dog passes away and you just go get another one. That it just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, it's like if you have a best friend and you lose that best friend, whether they pass away or they move away, whatever it might be, you just don't go grab a new friend and act like they're a replacement. I guess that's what really bothered me. I didn't want to feel like I was trying to replace Biff. So for the longest time, I just didn't want to claim a dog. I didn't want to have a dog. But then last year when anxiety struck me really bad and I had to be out of work for a while, and I did speak to different people about it, just trying to learn about anxiety and what I could do to help myself. And it was suggested to me that maybe I should get a dog because I live alone. I'm alone the majority of the time. I do have good friends, but I really don't have friends that are close by. I have coworkers, but it's not the same because I hang out with coworkers and we end up talking about work and it just doesn't feel like hanging out anymore. So yeah, they suggested that I get a dog, and I asked one of my coworkers because she actually rescues animals. This is something that she does on the side. It's a regular basis thing for her. There's nothing she does with that is for a profit. It's all like a charitable type thing. She rescues animals. So yeah, I know Michael Crowther's asked about that. I think he's the one asked about it. Is Radcliffe a rescue? Yes, he is. What had happened is Radcliffe's family, they just moved away and left him tied up in the backyard. So, you know, that story definitely touched me. And she had two dogs at the time that I could choose from. And one was a female puppy, which, I mean, she was really young. Radcliffe's a puppy too, technically. But this puppy was really young, really small, hadn't been housebroken or anything yet. So that just, to me, you know, when you're trying to deal with anxiety, I felt like that would have been more stressful than helpful. Radcliffe already had some training, so that's why I went with Radcliffe. And soon as I actually met Radcliffe, I was like, okay, yeah, this is the right dog for me. I think it really was like an instant connection there with him. So yeah, Radcliffe has been my dog now for almost a year. One thing she told me right away is that he does have heartworms. He's almost over his medication, which I'm so happy about. Is he seems like he's feeling a lot better. There have been times here and there where he was kind of sick. I know one day I noticed that he was just dragging around. He was laying around. He didn't really want to eat his food. And he was like that for 2 or 3 days. Really had me worried, but he was fine after that. And I guess it was just part of the process, him getting over these heartworms. So I think he only has like 1 month of medication yet. And I know he'll be so glad to be done with that. And I think he's, you know, feeling pretty healthy and everything. He definitely seems that way. So yeah, that's how I ended up with Radcliffe, and I think Radcliffe's a pretty awesome dog. I mean, he's a puppy, so he's wild, and it's really hard to record Radcliffe because, and this is another reason he's not in videos that much, is because when Radcliffe is around me, he really likes to be very close to me. I think you may have seen even in the couple of clips that I shared with you that if I try to play around with Radcliffe, most of the time he ignores most of his toys, and he'll want to be like really close to me. So it's really tough to try to record him. And with me sitting down, like if I were to, like say, sit down on a couch or a love seat and try to record, it would be almost impossible because he would be like right up on me. So yeah, that's why you don't see him as much. But you are about to see him right now. You see Radcliffe in there sitting there watching me. yawning. I think he's a night owl like me. He seems to sleep more during the day than at night. And I like having him in that particular room there. I guess it was meant maybe as a dining room. I don't know, or either the room I'm standing in may have been meant as a dining room. But the house I stay in, and you can hear my voice echoing, that's because this house is designed sort of like a duplex, but I really mainly use one side of it. So the space over here, a lot of this space, I kind of let Radcliffe kind of run around in. I did have to close up these doors here. You see, I got the chairs blocking it because he used to find a way to get out of that door. I think the door just doesn't close properly, so he kept finding a way to get out of there. But yeah, he's watching and waiting for me to come over there. Yeah, he started to jump up. He's getting better. I've been trying to train him not to jump up so much because I got a lot of nieces and nephews, and eventually I want to take him around them, and I really don't want him jumping up on them. You know, they're really small. Some of them, I'm sure, are kind of afraid of dogs and nervous about them. So that's why I'm trying to train him not to jump up so much. Yeah, you see how wild he is. This toy here, he's getting excited already. Hold on. This is the toy, the only toy that he really seems to like. See, he's got his fur shedding on there. It's really the only toy that he seems to like. His other toys, there used to be more toys for him in his room. But you see this room is pretty bare now, and that's just because he just lost interest in his other toys, or he just tore them up. Come in. I tell you, he is the worst dog at playing fetch, though, because he'll bring something back, but then he doesn't want to let go of it. Radcliffe, stop. Come here. And my God, does he drool a lot on this. Yep. Trying to see if I can show you how high he jumps. He won't jump too high in the house, I think. Yeah, but outside, he can jump as tall as, like, up to the height of my head. You see what I'm saying about it? It's really tough to try to record him because he just moves so much. He's wild. Got this old really messed up love seat in here. It's in really bad condition, but he loves it to death. And he's, of course, part of the reason that it's torn up. But I don't mind that. As long as he likes it, it's all good. Come here. Let it go. See, he doesn't even want to give the toy up. I will one day soon try to actually show me and Radcliffe outside together. Yeah, I probably need to get that weight out of here. You almost ran into that just now, but that was something else. I actually had that blocking the door for a while, and it did not work well at all. He basically just moved it out of the way. Like I said, he's pretty smart. He's done some things that really impress me with how smart he is. And he'll do things like, if I'm gonna let him run outside for a minute without a leash or whatever, he'll actually like pause at the door and wait and make sure it's okay. You know, things like that. He's pretty smart. He even knows, like, if I'm taking him outside and like if I need to close the door or anything, he knows to move aside real quick. He's pretty smart at times. He does get himself tangled up when he's tied outside, because I do have him outside sometimes. And I don't know, a lot of people, they keep the dogs in the house the majority of the time. I just feel like dogs should be outside some. And in case anybody's wondering, I've said it before, with this toy here, it is electronic, so I don't tend to leave him alone with it. I try to make sure I'm close to him when he has this, just because I know he can really tear through that. Look at the way he lays. Somebody let me know, does your dog lay like that? He does that a lot, and he likes to stretch a lot, especially when he sees me. But I guess he's preparing himself to jump around, though. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put the phone down so that I can play with his wild self. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. You learned a little bit more about me and, you know, a little bit about Radcliffe. Like I said, he's a rescue, so at the same time, I think he has really helped me, you know, dealing with the things I've dealt with in the past year or so. I think it actually has been helpful. So the way I look at it, we helped each other. And like I said, you'll see some more Radcliffe in the future. And don't forget, this question I felt that Michael gave me that I should go ahead and jump on it. But you know, and dedicate a video to it. But I would like some other questions as well. And remember, that will get you, and you'll be entered into my 300 subscriber giveaway. I'm kind of close, but my number's growing kind of slowly, so we'll see how long it takes there. But just give me some questions, and I'll try to do one video where I answer a bunch of questions together for the 300 subscriber giveaway. But that's it for now. And I'm not going to tell Radcliffe to say goodbye because he can't speak. I know some people do that and it's cute and all that, but yeah, I'll just say goodbye for Radcliffe. You all take care.